find Haunt Squad on all your favorite social media sites. Facebook.com/Haunt Squad, Twitter @Haunt Squad, Instagram at Instagram.com/Haunt_Squad, and search us on YouTube. Haunt Squad, 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 Squad.
Out of the night came a fate worse than death. A man's mind twisted, his brain poisoned, with an uncontrollable lust to kill.
In a world filled with supernatural phenomena, three explorers of the unknown answer the real questions concerning the field of paranormal investigation. Vinny Gomez, Natalie Jane, and Mike Wolfer guide you to the depths of paranormal studies, creepy movies, games, and comics, and more from the world of horror and geek culture. Turn out the lights, turn on your EMF detector, and prepare yourself for the Haunt Squad podcast.
A tale of terror that will leave you limp. So hideous and shocking, you won't believe your eyes.
Yeah. The podcast so terrifying it'll leave you limp.
Limp.
Oh.
Hi, I'm Vinny.
Hey, I'm Mike.
I'm Natalie.
And we are Haunt Squad, taking you through the world of the paranormal, comics, horror, and anything else in geek culture. Welcome.
Holy crap, it's been a long time.
It has.
But we're back.
How you guys doing?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I've been busy. You've been busy.
Busy.
We've all been busy.
Yeah, busy.
Where do we begin?
Gary?
Gary. Hey, you know, that interesting intro I did. Gary. Those were clips from Horrors of Spider Island. And if you guys are on Facebook or Twitter and you've seen that little graphic I put together that says Haunt Squad will be back, and it says with 38% more Gary and Zap Rousdower and the elusive Robert Denby. Should I explain that or just let it go?
Let it go.
Oh, okay.
Keep him guessing.
Oh, look them up.
Look him up.
But yeah, we've been really busy with all the Kickstarter campaigns that I've been doing. For those of you just joining us, I'm a comic book writer and artist, and I'm self-publishing books, and I'm motioning a lot with my hands. And I don't
About to
know.
smack me.
I self-publish books, and the way I get the money to do that is to run Kickstarter campaigns. Kickstarter is a website where people can contribute money to me to help me create these books, and in return they get like all kinds of cool limited edition comics and oracle cards and trading cards and all this other stuff. It's a great process, and that's how I'm staying in business. So we've run several campaigns over the last couple of months. Like every 2 months or so, I'll do another one. And we did Widow Archives. No, yeah, can you remember? Yeah, Widow Archives Volume 5, Widow the Origin. We ran a campaign for that. That one is, the books actually just went to press. And we should be getting those any day now.
Okay.
So we can start shipping that one out. After that, I did the Widow Progeny. And that's a brand new Widow series that's written by me, drawn by Roy Allen Martinez, who it's freaking awesome. He's about 2/3 of the way through the first issue drawing that. And in order to get the money to pay him to draw the book, I ran the Kickstarter.
Okay.
And by the way, tangent, that Kickstarter, what a freaking disaster. You remember that? Remember that
Yeah.
horrible...
Yeah.
Oh my
I do.
God.
What happened?
I launched the Kickstarter,
Yeah.
and I've been promoting it for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
With tiny URL links and everything to the page, getting everybody hyped up for it. And it's launching at 9 p.m. on Thursday night, and whatever date that was. And 9 p.m. Thursday night, boom, I launched it. And people are like backing like crazy. Like, great. Oh my God, the money coming in was ridiculous. And I started looking into it. I started looking at the individual pledges.
Yeah.
And it's like, this guy backed for $10, but they're charging him $45. I'm like, why are they charging him $45? $35 for shipping. Oof. Like, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Uh-oh.
What had happened was, there was some kind of weird-ass glitch to where it was charging U.S. backers international shipping fees.
Wow.
And people were pledging and I guess just not really paying attention and going, yeah, I hit pledge. Yeah, woo, I'm a backer. And they weren't noticing that they were getting ripped. So I had to cancel the campaign after about maybe 20 minutes or so. I was trying to get up with Kickstarter. There's no phone number. You cannot reach
You're
anyone.
kidding me.
Yeah, you can only email them and wait 2 to 3 business days to get a response.
Yeah.
In the meantime, people are pledging. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't stop this. It's an avalanche. I had to cancel the campaign and then rebuild it from scratch that night. And now I had to spread the word all over again. Hey guys, it's messed up. It's not. You come back next week. Oh God! Luckily, everybody did come back.
Right.
But it was a nightmare. I was pulling out my hair that night
Were you mad?
a little bit.
Yeah.
But we got it taken care of and got it fixed. And Roy's working on the art and he's making headway on that really well. Stuff is really great looking. And that ships in July. After that, we did. Maximum Widow Uncovered. That was an interesting one. That's a full color 24. Is it 24? No, I think it's 28 now. 28 page full color pinup book. And that is composed of a bunch of covers that I did for books back in the early 2000s for another publisher. I did a lot of great covers for them. And they're all kind of dirty.
What would you expect? What
Well,
else?
yeah.
Yeah.
But I said, you know what? A lot of these people want these books, and they don't want to pay $15 to $20 to $40 to $80 a piece for them.
Right.
I should put all of that art together in one book. So, did I take the original art and scan it and make the book? No, because I don't have the original art. It's still,
Why not? You're Mike Wolfer. You should have all your original art.
I should. It's still in the possession of the publisher after 20 years. I didn't have the digital color files for those covers because those are in the possession of the publisher.
Gotcha.
So what I did was I scanned the actual comics, the actual printed comics.
Which you had on hand.
Most of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting to that one. And then in Photoshop, I would remove the logos and all of that stuff. So now a few of them still have logos. I wasn't able to remove them. But yeah, I did all that. But I didn't have every single cover. Imagine that. I don't even have my own books. But, so I'm like, oh no, I don't have issue 10. I don't have this one. I don't have that one. What am I going to do? Oh, ding. Great idea. Why don't I ask the people who have them? And it's, collectors. So I put it out on Facebook. I'm sure you saw that. I'm like,
Yes, I
hey,
did.
if anybody has these books, I need them. And luckily, 2 guys, Nathan Plunkett and Jason Hutchins, 2 guys who follow my work, they had several of the books.
Okay.
And they're like, yeah, we've got them. I'm like, okay, send them to me. I'll scan them and then autograph them, send them back. And they pulled me out of a jam. So thank you guys. Really, really appreciate that.
Win-win for everyone.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that book's all, that's put together. What else are we doing? Land of Time Forgot for American Mythology.
That one you're writing for.
I'm writing that, and it's being drawn by Giancarlo Caracuzzo, and his daughter is actually doing the coloring. So we're getting color files from them, and then I do a little bit of tweaking to that. There's things where I'm adding in color backgrounds, like around, how around the edges of the panels themselves is usually white.
Right.
I'm putting in different color effects back there, so it's like, wow, super vibrant. But then after I do that, hand them off to Natalie, and she's lettering. Okay. So that book's coming together. It's a July release, but I think it's coming out in June. Don't tell anybody, but you guys that want to get the book, start looking for that in June.
And you did the first cover.
I did, covers. I'm not doing interior art, but I did do the covers.
Okay, so
and those
covers by Mike Wolfer, story by Mike Wolfer.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that one's moving right along. That's freaking awesome. I'm having a blast doing that. What else are we doing? Oh, the new one. Is it okay if I feel your leg up a while? Hey, Natalie. Hey, remember that book that I just came up with the other day? Remember that
Yes.
time? I make fun
The
of my
look you got from her was hilarious.
I make
What
fun.
are you touching me
Wish
for?
everyone could see this.
I'm glad they can't see most of it. I make fun of my son all the time. Have I mentioned this on the
No,
show?
you haven't. This is so
It's
cute.
funny. When he was little, my son Quentin, he had this habit of, he wanted to bring up something cool. And he would say, hey, you remember that time that we went to the park and climbed up that big hill and then I fell down the hill? You remember that? And I'm like, yeah, it was yesterday. So we say that all the time. Like Natalie will feed the cats and then 10 minutes later I'll go, hey, Natalie, you remember the time you fed the cats? But anyhow, the new book, Crypt of Screams, that's a new one coming out.
Yeah.
That just came together. American Mythology got up with me and said, hey, we have a spot available for September releases. Do you have anything you'd like to do? And I said, heck yeah. Yeah. Because here's the deal. When I was a little kid, I was reading stuff like, Richie Rich and Hot Stuff. Remember Hot Stuff, the little devil guy?
No.
No. Like Sad Sack and Beetle Bailey, like these kid comic books.
Right.
And I went directly from that to Warren Publishing Company stuff. And this is when I was like 7 years old. And that was eerie, creepy Vampirella magazines. Black and white for grown-up readers. Art was just absolutely phenomenal. And it had blood and sometimes like nudity and occasionally a curse word like crap or damn. That's what got me into comics. Okay. That's what made me want to be a comic book illustrator, was seeing that work in those black and white magazines.
Right.
And I always loved the anthology format, like Tales from the Crypt and all of those, the EC comics. Always wanted to do one my whole life, but just have never had the opportunity. So American Mythology said, hey, you got anything? And I'm like, well, I have the plots written down for it's like 7 or 8 or 9 different stories that I've written down over the years. Like someday I'll do my own anthology, and here's all these little story ideas. So I'm like, yeah, I've got a bunch of stuff ready to go. All I have to do is draw a cover, and boom, we're off to the races. So that's what I did. Drew a cover, and boom, we're off to the races.
Yeah, the cover's phenomenal looking.
Colors by Cece De La Cruz, which she colors all of my stuff. I won't let anybody else touch my stuff.
I got a quick question for you.
Do it.
The coloring situation. It's not like I've ever asked you this before.
You have, but go ahead.
When, excuse me.
In fact, you asked me this about 10 minutes ago.
Remember when you asked Mike the question about coloring?
Remember the time we started recording episode 40 and the record button wasn't pushed and we talked for 20 minutes and then we had to start over? You remember?
When you actually do a cover or any type of panel, okay, and you send it over to Cece,
right?
Do you have any input on the color scheme or anything like that, or is it purely on her?
Yeah, no, I have very detailed notes that I send her. Yeah, I say, make this look awesome, and boom, she does it.
Okay. Well,
no, I generally don't.
Okay.
Occasionally, if there is a character who has a very specific color theme, a certain color of clothing, or like, oh, the werewolf needs to have gray fur, not brown or whatever, I'll let her know that. Oh, that thing's got glowing green eyes and this one's got glowing red eyes. Stuff like that I will tell her, but generally she does whatever she wants. She knows she's an artist. She has the eye of an artist. She's not just like filling in colors. I'll make this purple and I'll make this maroon and I'll make this gray. She doesn't do that. No. She's thinking like secondary light sources of different colors and blah, blah, blah. It's just...
She even adds texture.
Oh, my
She's
God.
Great.
I don't even want to... Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Did you see the dinosaurs that she did for the Land of Time Forgot covers? If you look at it, you go, cool, that looks beautiful. And then you zoom in. Oh, my God. They've got all this textured skin and cracks and veins and
How long
scales.
does it take her to do something like this?
Well, I tell you what, I gave her the cover for Crypt of Screams #1 on, I think it was Saturday night, like Monday morning or Sunday night, I think. I forget. I don't know. She did it in like a day.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable.
She has other stuff going on too.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you if she has other things going on aside from just your work.
Yeah, she's coloring the new La Muerta graphic novel for Brian Pulido, Coffin Comics. That's really cool. But yeah, so busy. Very busy.
Okay.
Very busy.
Busy. We went through a terrible electronics crash. Natalie lost her phone, as in it died.
Yeah.
And she does everything on her phone, including all the show notes that we do for this show, all the research that she does. It's all gone. It's all gone. I lost a laptop. The hard drive died. Took it to a repair place, and they were not able to recover any of the data. So I have lost scripts that I did not have copies for upcoming books and things. Malice and Plague is a series I'm working on. I had 3 issues of that written.
Oh my God.
Gone. I had not made a copy of it. And I do backup stuff on flash drives, but some of the things on that hard drive of that laptop were not backed up. Luckily, she had a printed copy of those 3 scripts. So at least I've got that. There's a bunch of stuff that I lost.
Yeah.
And it's a horrible disaster.
gosh.
So we're going to be kind of winging it with this episode.
We are a disaster today.
So what happened with me is, okay, so I have this security feature, thankfully not on the Haunt Squad Twitter account, but on my personal account. And anytime I sign in from a new device, when I log in, after I log in, I will receive a 6-digit PIN, a text from Twitter to my mobile phone, and I have to enter that. Well, I tried signing in from one of the home computers when my phone died, and it's like, oh, we were going to send you the 6-digit PIN. Well, it didn't make sense to me because I had signed in from that computer times before, and I'm like, well, I can't do anything because I don't have my phone. I have to wait till I get a new one. So I got my new phone and tried to sign in. Oh, we're going to send you a text message with a 6-digit PIN. Not getting any text messages. So I contact Twitter support, and I'm not even going to go on because I'm just going to start cursing. They're absolute idiots. They're not even addressing my problem. They're thinking that I
we
need a new
love
password.
Twitter.
Yeah, we love Twitter. Not addressing my problem, and they're not even responding to my email. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to get back to my personal account. I created a new one, a backup just in case, but I don't want to then start all that over and then, oh, hi, we're going to give you a Twitter account back. So I'm just kind of waiting. So
It's terrible because Natalie without Twitter is like...
I can't tweet Lucha Underground.
It's like
Svengoolie,
mashed
and all
without
this other
potatoes,
stuff.
you know?
Yeah. Where's the gravy?
I don't know what that means.
So that's
It's
where I'm
bad.
at with that. Yeah, and I lost
It's
a bunch
bad.
of pictures. And the funny thing is, I've had to do that before, signing in from different devices. And I actually took screenshots of old codes because it says if you have an old code, you can use it. Well, that's not on the SD card; it's on the system. So I don't even have those. I can't recover those. But it's just the fact that it's been since last Friday since someone has gotten back to me, and I emailed them 2 more times, Monday and Tuesday, following up, and I've heard nothing. So, suck it.
Yeah.
Customer service.
Suck it.
Customer service is horrible.
It's lost. Yeah.
Now, I understand you got a new car. How's that going?
Yeah, back in February, we decided to downgrade a little bit and go a little more economical with our vehicles, and we bought a nice small Chevy. Been having a great time with it until last week when I was driving into work around 2 a.m, and a deer decided to make love to the front of my vehicle. Yeah, so, lots of damage.
You stayed on the road?
Yeah, I'm fine. No problems. Thankfully, the airbag didn't go off. All the damage was centralized to the front of the vehicle. So no headlights, no front bumper, nothing. Thankfully, I was able to drive the vehicle back home, and I was able to take the old going out car to work. So I'll be taking the Monte Carlo back and forth to work for the next
poor
week or so.
you.
I know, it really sucks.
It does suck, though.
Yeah.
You know?
So we just got the amount back. It's going to be about $4,300 to fix the car, and thankfully it's covered, so we're okay there.
Oh, that's great.
You have insurance?
Comprehension?
What? I don't bother with insurance. I mean, who needs it?
Well,
I'm just kidding.
I do find a little comedy in it because hitting a deer, even though it's terrible, it's kind of funny because when you hit a deer...
No, it isn't.
Yeah,
What
I
is
know.
wrong with you?
Okay,
I got to hear this.
well, when the deer was standing in the median, I saw it and I slowed down to a point. I was doing about 50, and I said, "All right, let me slow it down."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see the deer, and you're thinking to yourself, "Well, you know what? If I were an animal, and I saw a big monster with glowing eyes coming down the big dark pathway, I would probably turn around." This deer decided, you know what? I think I'm going to have fun.
Why do they do that?
Ran in front of the car, and when I hit it, the deer, she flipped over. Okay, so I thought I was going to run over her, and I didn't. I flipped her in midair, and I saw her legs were like she was running, and then when I hit her, her legs went straight out. So all I saw was straight out legs. They were like as if you had taken a figure of a deer, a plastic figure, and just stood it. That's basically it. Her paws were just out, and I guess I was going fast enough where I hit it so hard that it just booted her right into the grass to the side of the road, and all I saw were her legs. It's just straight up in the
maybe
air.
died instantly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
No,
good.
I got out of the car and I was looking for it, and I didn't hear it moaning or crying or anything like that.
What a horrible story. I feel terrible now after hearing that.
Do you?
Yeah.
You mean to tell me the straight legs don't make you kind of laugh? It just turned into like a
No,
a
you
mess?
killed something. You morbid man.
I
you.
thought we were morbid.
I thought I was sick.
No, wait a second now.
No, I don't find death funny. I find, near-death experiences funny. When someone slips and falls.
Yeah, there you go.
That's hilarious. But I laugh at myself. too.
Yahweh.
Things. Yahweh, pinche pendejo, way. Yeah. Edgar's last words.
Poor Edgar.
Edgar.
Look it up. Oh man. Well, that's crappy.
Yeah, but
Yeah. But you're okay. So that's
thankfully,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
okay. Just within the last couple of weeks dealing with colds and
We've been dealing with some sicknesses too.
Oh.
So
Have you guys been watching TV?
I was
Yeah.
just about to bring that up.
Were you?
I was looking at my notes.
Oh, so was I. TV. Do we even watch TV anymore?
yeah.
Very little.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of the things I want to talk about. First of all, Walking Dead. I mean, we haven't been on.
It's been a while.
We
But
haven't done a podcast.
Let's
in
do
so
a review
long.
of Walking
Did
Dead.
you see the season finale? Oh boy, shocking! Yeah, everybody's already over it now.
Yeah.
But what'd you think? Did you see it?
I did see it. I love Negan. I think they did a great job with casting the actor Jeffrey.
Dean Morgan.
Thank you.
Is that it? Yeah, Jeffrey Dean
I
Morgan.
think he's a great actor, and he did a phenomenal job as Negan. I don't know. I'm thinking that they're going to go. I don't think Glenn's going to get it. I think somebody else is going to get it.
Hey, you know what? Guess
What?
what? Beep,
What?
beep,
What?
beep, beep. Wait, hold on. Do we have a sound effect for like news break? Yes, we do.
Yes.
Hold on. Here it comes. Okay, great. We got a news flash. The internet being the wonderful thing that it is, where it spoils everything for everyone all the time, 24/7. Some photos came out from Atlanta. where
Yeah, they're filming. They're filming right now.
Yeah, there was a little minor car accident out on the highway. Well, it turns out that Glenn and Daryl were out there helping the people that were in the car accident. Oh, really? So they're both on the set, huh?
It doesn't mean anything.
I know it doesn't mean
I know.
anything, but I think it
But
means.
they're there.
Yeah.
Well, all right, but who do you want to get?
You know, I don't want anybody to,
anyone
get
to get it.
You know who I think gets it?
Okay.
The one person that stood up to Negan.
Mm-hmm.
The one person who stood tall on their knees and said, F you.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm not backing down.
Abraham.
Yep.
Well,
And his story, if you follow his story arc, he's gone through a lot of changes and kind of reinvented himself with his relationships and his standing within the group and became, I don't know, he kind of turned a page, you know, where he was a different person in a sense and was like, I'm ready for whatever's coming. He's got his new relationship going. He's accepted that. He's accepted moving on from Rosita, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's Abraham.
whenever somebody's happy,
Yeah.
that's when they
Yeah.
get it.
I was bouncing between Abraham and Eugene because Eugene has also
That's
had
right.
a turn as
Yeah,
well.
same thing.
But I think he's too weak. He's too weak. He's not a threat. I don't believe he's a threat, and I don't think Negan
yes.
sees him as a threat.
And
I
we'll-
think it's Abraham.
Yeah, when we talked about this, Natalie and I, that was one of the things that we came up with. If you look at that group, who's the most intimidating that you would want to take out?
The biggest guy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think they have any clue how much of a badass that Daryl is. He doesn't look as imposing as Abraham.
Yeah.
So.
I just want to bring something up too. In the comics, if you read it.
Yep, I was just about to bring that up as well.
Yeah, in issue 98, Abraham is killed in 98, and if you've been watching the series, the way that Denise, right? She was the doctor. The doctor.
Yes.
She got an arrow through the head.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Abraham gets it in issue 90. I believe it's issue 98. Mm-hmm. He's actually walking with Eugene, and I believe Eugene's. It's been so long. Eugene was talking to him about. They were talking about Rosita, and they were talking about, I believe, the bullets, how he can make the bullets, and Abraham. They're almost home, and he gets it with an arrow through the head. So you just don't know. They've really been mixing a lot of things up. It could be Abraham's time. I don't know.
Thanks a lot, too, for blowing the ending of a 3-year-old comic book.
It's been 3 years, basically, since we've seen Negan. We saw Negan in issue 100, and that's where Glenn meets his demise with Lucille. That was the big thing. That was the big
Glenn.
death.
Oh, thanks a lot, Natalie.
Everybody knows this. But yeah, it's been almost 3 years. I can't remember if it was a June or July issue, but something around there. And yeah, and like you said, Vinny, I think I didn't even consider Jeffrey Dean Morgan for the role. I'm thinking a bunch of other people, and when that came out, I was like, oh my God, that's perfect.
Mm-hmm. They were talking about Henry Rollins playing.
He would have been good too.
He would have been great.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. I just like Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I think he's just great.
Yeah.
I was thinking Gilbert Gottfried.
And on to the next topic.
No, I like Papa Winchester. Supernatural, he's their father.
Is
Sam?
Gilbert Gottfried?
No, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I'm sorry.
I'm like, what?
No, he's Daddy Winchester.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Fear the Walking Dead? Oh,
Vinny's face. That was a tell.
Yeah. It's getting better. I'll say
it?
this. It's getting better.
Okay.
It's not like the first season. I don't know. They're rehashing. It just seems to me that they're rehashing a lot of these stories from season 2 of The Walking Dead.
Okay.
We stopped watching after maybe the second or
I stopped
third.
after the first. You stopped after the second. We thought, well, they'll have something where we can catch up because they're having a mid-season finale. Okay.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know.
It lost me, but I'll get back on.
It's not that it's a bad show.
No.
But you know what it feels like? It feels like the Incredible Hulk. It's like that format. We're going to wander, and then we pull up to shore, and we encounter some people, and we get to find out who they are and what they are, and someone falls in love, and then, they have to leave at the end. And they sail away into the sad music. Mm-hmm. And then the next week, they pull up to the dock somewhere else, and then they have an encounter with, that seemed to be what was going on. And I don't know, it just wasn't, the characters themselves, not really anything wrong with them, but they just didn't grab
I'm not in
me.
love with anyone. I have to say, nothing against
Yeah.
anybody. It's not the actors, but I don't really care about any of the characters. And the teenage kids, they can all die.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't even care. I wish they would just be all knocked off.
Something for me that turned me off to the story. Where the hell am I going with this? The fact that we already know what's going to happen because we have watched The Walking Dead. Mm-hmm. So now, to backtrack, it seemed like a good idea. Let's show how they got there. But we all know how it's going to end up. Mm-hmm. And it seemed intriguing to me to see the process of how they went from civilization to utter chaos.
Mm-hmm. But
now that I'm seeing it, it doesn't matter to me.
When I started watching it, I was under the understanding that it wasn't going to get to the point where The Walking Dead is at. I thought it was going to be a longer story during the time that all hell broke loose. So you still have, news, the media is still alive, cities are still alive, and they're combating.
Yeah.
Instead, it seems as though they had that flash forward. Was it 8 weeks in the first season? They had like 8 weeks later, and now, society's broken down, and it's turned into a Mad Max type, situation.
Yeah.
There is no battle. There was nothing like, okay, well, doctors, hey, we got to figure out what's going on, and it's just like Mike said, it's just going in the same direction as The Walking Dead. We already know what's happened. Now we're on that same path. Now we're just following a different group.
We talked about this before. I said I wanted to see the breakdown. That was the whole thing. I wanted to see all the chaos and really concentrate on that. it's done.
We saw that in the first season. Mm-hmm. And then...
Again, like you said, skip forward. It's like, no, I want to see the entire breakdown.
Right.
There's got to be so much more to it.
They could have told about 5 seasons of just the breakdown.
Definitely.
You didn't have to see everything happen in one shot.
Mm-hmm.
This could have been 5 seasons of one day. You know, this is 1 day or 2 weeks or whatever.
Well, let's be realistic here, though. That's an expensive show to shoot. It's much easier to shoot a show where they're on the California coast and there's no people and it's a desolate, remote location and you only have a small cast rather than a city full of people running and screaming. So,
True.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not that it's a bad show.
No.
It just didn't hold my attention. And maybe they're building towards something that's freaking awesome and we're going to say, holy crap, we got to go back and get season 2.
Yeah.
Let's hope that's the case. The Flash, we missed some episodes of that and then we couldn't catch up. Supergirl, we missed some episodes of that, and then we couldn't catch up, so we just ended up dropping them. Not that they were bad shows. We just...
I haven't watched Supernatural in a very long time as well.
That, too. What drives me crazy about modern television, boy, I wish things were like they were in the 70s. Come and knock on our door. Every show was a single, self-contained episode. Didn't matter what order you watched them in. You could watch The Night Stalker and miss 3 weeks, and then jump in and whatever. Everything now is episodic. Everything now is an epic. And if you miss one episode, even though they do recaps at the beginning of what happened last week, you miss stuff. I don't want to miss. I don't want to not know what's going on. So it makes it very, very difficult to jump back in. And we've ended up dropping shows because of that.
Same here.
Not that we wanted to, but we're like, oh man, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. So what have you been keeping up with, Vinny?
The only shows that I've really been keeping up with now, The Walking Dead. And I'll be honest with you, I've been kind of like, I don't know. It's a little depressing now. You know, I like the actors, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've been keeping up with that religiously. Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, yeah.
They're bringing it back for a 4th season.
Wow.
I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. That's really it. I had to drop everything else. There's just nothing. I don't have the time for it.
You have time restraints because your work schedule. You have to go to bed really early, and
so most of it's Hulu. I will say that I have watched a couple of things on Hulu. One of them being 11/23/63 or 11/22/63. It was
not a clue.
Yeah, it was a Stephen King miniseries based on time travel and trying to save JFK. Really, really well done series. 8 episodes, quick, done. Fantastic.
Okay.
But aside from that, no, really, like Mike said, my schedule's just so screwy that I just can't watch anything major. Get into it.
I think there's only 2 things that we, as you said, religiously watch. Natalie's holding up 3 fingers.
Three things.
She's telling you to read between the lines.
One thing, every Saturday night, 10 o'clock.
Oh, 4 things. Sorry.
Me TV. Oh, my God. Svengoolie.
Yep.
Every Saturday night. We can't wait for Svengoolie. Natalie's walking around the house singing the theme song. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh, yeah.
At like 10 in the morning. She's waiting.
I am ready.
We can't wait for Svengoolie. That and... You know what? We'll get to
Wednesdays,
that last. But we'll get to Wednesday last. What are the other 2?
They're on Wednesday after Lucha Underground.
Oh, yeah.
I just blew it. Modern Family and Blackish.
Yep.
Love those shows.
Both of those are really good.
Yeah.
I love both of those shows. They're great. But the big one, Lucha Underground.
Yes.
Everybody knows.
Don't miss it.
Everybody knows that we're just crazy about that show. Season 2 has been ridiculous. We haven't had a chance to talk about it because we haven't been on the podcast. So much has happened. We can't even rehash.
Don't even
There's
know
no
where
way.
to start. I mean,
there's no way.
It's amazing. I hate using that word because it's so overused, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
It is.
In a nutshell, Katrina and the Disciples of Death and Mil Muertes, they were in control of the temple. Then Dario Cueto came back with his brother Matanza and took over from her.
Yeah.
Then a bunch of really cool stuff happened, and people got kicked in the face. And
Mil Muertes, takes out cameramen. And,
yeah.
And as of right now, they had Graver,
Gravest,
Graver consequences.
Graver consequences.
Graver consequences.
That was ridiculous.
we don't know where Katrina is, but Mil Muertes has, I guess, gone back to the underworld.
Yeah.
That's what it seems like. And then we just had Gift of the Gods, which
Gift
was
of the Gods.
Great
Yep.
match.
Oh my God.
Frickin' Chavo.
You know, don't even start.
Pinche Chavito.
That's the last J-Man and Urban last real heels, as they say. Never trust a Guerrero.
No, you
Yeah.
can't. They lie,
Hey.
they cheat, they steal. What?
Speaking of those guys, our buddies,
Yeah,
they sent us a cool little care package in the mail.
they sure
We
did.
greatly
They're good
appreciate.
guys.
They sent us some stickers and the Lucha Underground comics.
They did.
Love it.
I didn't
it.
get anything.
Love it. Well, Vinny,
What happened?
I don't know what to tell
What?
you. Do you watch the show? And that's
No.
why.
When it was a comic, so they figure,
Yeah.
But we can share it.
I mean, I could have read the comics. And
Yeah.
Stuff. By the way, can you do me a favor? Put in a good word for an app from Lucha, El Rey, maybe for the Apple TV. That way, then I can actually subscribe to it. And,
Well, guess what? Season 1 is on iTunes.
That's right.
And,
That was the other thing.
And, yeah, J-Man and Urban sent us Season 1.
Yeah.
We just have to put it on our damn computer one day.
I'm glad I didn't.
We were going to put it on the one that crashed.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you guys have gotten season 1 from J-Man and Urban.
Vinny's
Even
salty.
though I haven't seen it and I haven't been able to see it, I really appreciate it, guys. You sent it to the right people. The people that are watching it, you sent it to them, but you didn't send it to moi.
I got to take this gum out. And
You sure do. Here.
like, who am I? Phoenix?
Yeah,
Like,
you're like a
he always
fighter.
walks into the ring chewing gum. Get rid of that.
It's hilarious.
Oh my
Animo.
gosh. I don't even know what to
yeah.
say. Prince Puma,
Oh.
El Dragon Azteca, Rey Mysterio Jr. Trios. When they get in the ring, holy,
Oh my God.
Crap.
The stars align.
oh my,
Planets crash into one another.
God.
I mean, it's
It's
the dream
unbelievable.
Trios team. Yeah.
and that match a couple weeks ago, you know the match. Sexy Star.
And Mariposa.
Oh my God. One of the best matches I've ever seen.
So much blood.
They were all over the temple, beating the hell out of each other.
Yeah.
And when they climbed way the hell up into the lights, they went where well,
No luchadors come before.
I was going to say where no man has gone before, but I didn't want to sound sexist. But they were way up there.
Yeah.
I was holding my breath. I'm
What
like,
was
oh
it?
my
Like,
God,
I was trying to
somebody's
figure out the
gonna
name for it.
fall.
It's like the scaffolding or like,
Yeah.
like a catwalk
Yeah.
type thing.
They were way
Yeah.
up there. Oh my God. It's
It was
incredible.
ruthless. I mean, the endurance. I mean, they're great athletes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No mas, right?
No mas. Whoever says no more, that's who loses. You had to no disqualifications. You had to say no mas.
Mariposa
Oh, Mariposa.
had Sexy Star in a submission hold.
Oh.
And they put the mic up to Sexy Star's face. And what does she yell?
She says, "Fuck you!" It was great. They didn't bleep it out. They didn't even bleep it
awesome.
out. But also, thank you, as always, to J-Man and Urban for retweeting our shows, just
Yeah, thank
retweeting
you,
random
guys.
tweets and stuff,
Oh,
and
yeah.
showing us love.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and so an interesting thing about Katrina that I learned, her name,
Yeah.
the origin of her name.
You know
let
what?
me,
I don't know if anybody knows this, but leave it up to Natalie.
because I'm just,
She
I
was
have
the
this
lead
curious
singer
nature.
of the Waves.
Katrina and the Waves.
Oh.
Come on.
Oh my God.
Wow. Oh, 80s.
So, as I've come to learn, I think a lot of people, who watch Lucha Underground, the writers are phenomenal.
Yes, they are.
And I believe that anytime they do anything, it's for a reason. I mean, it's just an epic story that they're telling. And so I looked into it. I thought, Katrina, what is her background? We find out that she's very old. Is she immortal? What's the deal? What's going on here?
I don't know, but yeah, she's supernatural.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I forgot if they actually came up with an actual date, but she's like, I don't know, like 150 years old. She's
Wow.
old, so, but she doesn't look it. She looks good. So I looked it up, and there's this illustrator, famous Mexican printer, Jose Guadalupe Posada, and he created this art. It's an image that depicts a female skeleton with a very fancy hat on. And originally, it was called La Calavera Garbanchera. Now, I don't know what Garbanchera means, but La Calavera is the skull. Mm-hmm. Then somewhere down the line, it was renamed to La Calavera Katrina. And yeah, and she's a representation of death. She represents Day of the Dead, the sugar skulls, all that stuff. So there's something going on.
They
there.
didn't just pull Katrina out of a hat.
No, there's a reason for that.
Yep.
So
I'm sticking to mine. Leave waves.
So just putting that out there.
Yeah.
The more you know. Ding, ding, ding. Question everything.
Woo! Yeah, we're going out of order this week.
We're crazy. We're breaking all the rules.
You can't stop us. Nobody can stop us.
All right.
Well, somebody could stop us.
We have a question here. It's from Nicholas Ramirez at Metamasca138 on Twitter. So bug him. All right.
Bug them. There's a little inside joke there.
Got a question, guys. Who are your favorite new luchadors from season 2 of Lucha Underground?
Oh,
I wouldn't know. I don't have season one.
You know, there's so many. I'll go first. There's so many. You have, Matanza, Mariposa, Cobra Moon, and El Dragon Azteca. I'm really impressed with them.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with Rey Mysterio. He's who I was just most excited with coming to Lucha Underground. He's a legend. He's already a legend. And
you know what's really cool too is the respect that is shown to him by most of the other luchadors and luchadoras. Mm-hmm. Before they beat his ass, they go up and shake his hand and say, "Dude, you're the shit." Mm-hmm.
He is.
Now I'm going to kill you, but
it's chingon.
It's
totally.
He's awesome. El Dragon Azteca is an incredible athlete. Mm-hmm. We didn't really know anything about him. He just sort of, he's the new guy with the mask. The original El Dragon Azteca was killed, and he took up the mantle.
Yes.
So we didn't know what to expect, but he's really good.
He's great.
Matanza is a freaking monster. Like, literally, he's a monster.
Matanza,
He's kind of like Michael Myers on steroids, like with the scary-ass jumpsuit and...
Michael Myers and Jason. That's what he reminds me of, a mix of that. He's... Oh, my God, it's hot.
Cobra Moon is cool.
Yes.
Mariposa is cool. Mm-hmm. Who's my favorite, though? Oh,
Who?
God.
Who?
I hate to even say it. You know who's really kind of ridiculous?
Who?
Freaking Joey Ryan, man.
Yes! Yes, he is. Oh, man, when he drops that baby oil down his drawers and he just, sucks on that lollipop. Woo!
Vinny, I don't...
Hey, Urban, how's that lollipop?
Oh, yeah.
He's great.
Oh, God.
Go Urban.
Yeah, Joey Ryan's kind of ridiculous. He's like the comedy relief, sort of. Runs away from everyone. Is a total asshole. He wins matches simply by sneaking into the ring. Someone gets knocked out and he jumps in on top of him. Pinned him. I win. And then runs away. He thought he was going to be a smartass that one match. He was like, you know what? I'm going to handcuff myself outside the ring so that there's no way he could lose. Mm-hmm. He got his ass beat.
He sure did.
Yeah. That was the wrong move.
And it's just great because, he's an undercover cop.
He is. Cool show.
Yeah.
Cool characters.
Very cool.
I don't, you know what? I'm going to listen to this later and say I totally picked the wrong guy or girl.
So, Vinny, who's your favorite?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I don't have season 1 from iTunes from our friends.
Have you called Famous Bee's phone
4, 2,
line
3,
yet?
get fame. Yeah.
No.
Gotta call it.
And when you die, nobody will remember you unless you call me, because I'm Famous B, and I'll make you famous. That's right. Call the number on your screen. 423, get fame. That's 423, get fame. And I'll turn you from a jobber to a robber. And together, we'll steal that spotlight. I know that's right, Daddy. Call now and be famous. I
tried it, and it wasn't answering.
Oh,
It's
Mike.
a shame.
Sorry.
You got to get fame.
I need the fame, man.
Wait, hold
Him
on
and
a
the
second.
beautiful Brenda.
You're
Yeah.
Mike Wolfer.
Yeah.
What do you mean you need the fame?
I'm no Masquerita Sagrada, though. You know.
No.
Listen, when I can Google Mike Wolfer's name, and there's a full Wikipedia based on you, or if I put Mike
I made
Wolfer in eBay, and I get comics, and I think you're famous.
Well, that's because eBay is full of people who are trying to get rid of their crap for 99 cents. Well, that's why you see my stuff.
You always have it. You always have a comeback, don't you? Can't you just accept it?
No.
Take the fame.
No.
All right. Our second question comes from Abu Aman in Kuwait City, Kuwait. I have a question. Will your character, Widow, ever turn into a live-action movie? And which actors would you prefer to play Widow?
Vinny?
Well, I would play Widow.
Oh!
Yes!
There we
See?
go.
There you go.
Put a little twist on it.
There you go.
Boy, I really don't have an answer for that.
Why not? Would you want to see it?
Because I lost my notes when my laptop went down.
Okay, off the top of your head, would you want to see it as a live action?
Sure.
Movie?
Sure.
I mean,
as
so-
long as it was done right and there was respect for the character and
Who would you want to see play?
nobody. I think it would have to be somebody who doesn't exist yet. or
What?
No?
Right, an undiscovered person. You'd have
Yeah.
to go on this global search.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't.
Well,
You know, I think about all the actresses or actors, whatever. Is what's a proper? Is it proper to now say actor?
Yeah.
actor is everyone. It's
Yeah.
inclusive, yeah. But it's okay. It's like, sexy stews.
Oh boy,
Let's go back in time. No, just actors.
naughty stewardesses in color. Yeah, I don't. No one jumps to mind.
Okay, let me ask you this one. I'm going to throw a question in.
Okay,
How about Ragdoll?
same thing.
You have no thought as to who might want or
Nope.
who you want to see play it?
Nope. In my fantasy world, it's more than just looks. I mean, I draw characters who are pretty, because that sells comics. So it would have to be someone naturally who was attractive. But they have to be able to act. Because we have seen many, many movies where they hire people simply because they look good, and then they're terrible. They're terrible actors. And that sucks. So I don't know. Don't have an answer. Wish I did.
All right, then we're moving on.
Okay.
All right. Our next question comes from, this is his Twitter handle, at Brizzo Hickman. Who's your greatest discovery?
Wait. Can you read that again?
Who's your greatest discovery?
What?
Who
I am.
Who's your greatest
is your
discovery?
greatest discovery?
So, who wants to start off?
I'll
go.
Okay, you go.
I had to think about this. Who was your greatest discovery? I mean, I haven't literally discovered anyone, but I'm going to say Betty Crocker because she has helped me. Betty Crocker.
Okay.
She's helped me make some of the most delicious cupcakes.
Oh, I
So-
see where you're going with this.
Yeah, and that's how I went.
Oh.
Hey, if you want to be different, be different.
You better say
Be natural.
me.
Yes.
Excuse me.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Either
Vinny
you
Gomez.
or Charles Nelson Riley. Oh. Or Zap Rousdower.
Oh,
Or maybe the elusive Robert Denby. No way, he's elusive, so I wouldn't have discovered him.
found
No, you
I
did
haven't
discover
found
him.
him yet.
No.
No. Well, what about you?
Me? Oh, wow. Discover who?
Yeah, who?
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 I haven't discovered anyone yet. I really haven't. I've come across people.
okay. Well,
I came
Go with
across
that.
2 paranormal investigators that came to this house and said,
When was this?
this was like 2 years ago.
okay.
And one said, hey, I draw comic books.
That's so weird because so do I.
And the other one was probably like, I like cats.
and I think I've been riding their coattails ever since.
Oh, we don't
Oh,
mind.
stop
I mean, no, you're not.
Oh, what? How about you, Mike?
You know what? If we want to seriously
Seriously,
be
yeah.
serious though, my greatest discovery. If we want to talk in Haunt Squad terms,
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
I have made a discovery.
Okay.
Of a person, and that would, you know what? There's two. No, wait. There's probably more than that. I'm gonna make this
Same
quick. I
all,
swear to
yeah.
God. Anna was the name of someone who I don't know, but I was doing an investigation of a residence in right over the border in Jersey, and we were in the basement, and we were trying to get responses from the the ghost box.
Yeah.
And it was spitting out words that were kind of silly, like Betty, Crocker, cupcake. It said crucifix, and I was like, crucifix. Okay, that's an interesting word to come out of the ghost box. And I'm like, hey, wait a minute. There's a back in the back of the basement. There was like puddles of water. It was kind of unfinished area, and there was a cabinet on the wall, old wooden cabinet. And this is a very old house. I'm like, wait a minute. There's a crucifix on the door.
Oh.
So I'm like, that's interesting. Okay, crucifix. So I go back there and I look, and I'm looking through the cabinet and I don't see anything. The ghost box says something else. Anna. I thought it said Anna. Turns out it said candle. When I asked later, the guy who was holding it, he was like, oh, it said candle. I'm like, I thought it said Anna. Because when I thought I heard the word Anna, I started looking around and I'm like, Anna. And I was saying it out loud. And I look up, and written on the floorboard on the ceiling above us was the name Anna. 1916 or 1917. I have the photograph of it.
Wow.
Somebody in 1917 had written their name up there, Anna. There were a few other names up there as well, like when they built a house or put the floor in, kids in the basement are like, I'm going to put my name up here, So it was hidden up, in the spider webs and all of that up there. So that was kind of really weird. I put no credence into the ghost box thing. I think it's just a bunch of crap and just spits out random words. Mm-hmm. But it was funny that it said crucifix, led me back to that area, said another word that I thought was Anna, and then I look up and see the word Anna written on the ceiling.
It's very coincidental.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say Anna.
Okay.
Nothing ever came of it, like nothing further. We didn't have any other evidence that indicated that there was any kind of intelligent being there, but kind of weird. Kind of weird.
Very strange.
Cool.
Yeah.
And now, our main topic.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Here it is.
Yeah.
The main topic, just like the intro said. Isn't it funny how we started off this podcast, like, hey, we're going to talk about the paranormal and things like that, and we were all, like, so serious about it, and then it's degenerated into this crazy format where we do the same thing every week, but it works.
Degenerated? It has evolved.
Oh, sorry.
It's an evolution.
I went the wrong way
negative
with that.
Nancy.
I went the wrong way with it. Not the first time I've done that.
Oh, that's what she said.
Oh.
So what's our topic for this week?
So our topic this week, one that we've done before. Worst movies of all time. Now mine, of course, are worst horror movies. Are your horror movies, Vinny?
Yeah, I tried to make them horror.
Yeah, good. What about you, Natalie? Are yours horror?
They're considered horror, yeah.
Okay, good. Good, we're all on the same page. We did this episode 24.
God, you know the episodes?
Yeah, because I wrote it down. They save Haunt Squad's brain. That was our worst episode of all time. This is going to be the worst episode of all time. Or part 2.
No, this is our comeback episode. What's wrong with you?
What's
Why don't you say
happening?
Oh,
something?
yeah.
Oh my god, it has degenerated.
No, it's a good thing because the worse we get, the better we get.
That's
You
true.
know what?
Yeah.
While we were on hiatus, I did a little informal survey among a lot of people that we know that listen every week, just to see what they like and what they don't like. Mm-hmm. They all said pretty much they hate the whole thing. They don't know why they're still listening.
Oh.
We don't need them. We don't.
No.
Yeah, we do. No, you know what they said? Things that they liked. They really like this movie review stuff that we do.
Really?
Yeah, because it turns a lot of people on to movies they've never heard of, or they've heard of it and didn't know what it was, and they're like, holy crap, I got to go find that. So we're doing the movie industry a service, I think, by turning people on to really crappy movies.
We need to get paid for this.
Yeah.
We should.
Figure that out.
Yeah. Somewhere along the line, we'll get paid. You know what? We get paid with karma. No, wait, there's no such thing as karma.
I don't believe in karma.
Yeah,
no.
I know there's no such thing as karma. But last time, Vinny, your picks were the pirate movie,
Pirate movie.
Grease 2,
Oh,
and we kind of lost track here, but you threw out Curse of the Pink Panther
yeah.
and City of Angels. We won't go into
I
that.
went into a rant. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Natalie's were Carnage, The Legend of Quilt Face, Rubber, and Gothic and Lolita Psycho. No? Gothic and Psycho Lolita?
That's
Psycho
not a-
and Lolita?
Did I really say
Yes, you
that
did.
It's a bad movie?
Yeah, you did.
So bad it's good?
Yep.
Drugs.
Yeah. Mine were Kaltiki, the Immortal Monster, The Creeping Terror, which the music at the beginning of this episode, beach
party.
That's from The Creeping Terror. And Creature from the Haunted Sea was my third one. So that's what we did last time. This time, it's going to be even worse. Who wants to start?
Boy, is it going to be bad.
How about you, Vinny?
I'll start first.
Do it.
Okay, first one. It was a movie I saw back when I was a kid, 1986. Home Alone. I says, let me watch this movie on HBO.
Home Alone.
No, it wasn't Home Alone. I
Oh,
was Home Alone.
Although that was a pretty bad movie.
Yeah, well, it's called The Gate. It was made in 1987, so I was home alone in 1988. I said 86. Sorry about that.
Okay.
The synopsis: basically, two kids. One kid's like really into heavy metal. They get this great album supposedly, and they play it backwards, and it's the rant of it summoning the devil, and they wind up summoning these little monster demons that turn into this dead guy that was in their wall. He breaks out, falls down, turns into these demons. Their mother and father come back home, and the father yells at the son and says, "You've been a bad boy," and then his head falls off. It's just some ridiculous stuff.
You felt that was a bad movie.
It was really bad.
Terrible movie. You would not recommend that to anyone.
No, because if you watch it now, it just doesn't hold up.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Maybe I'm just remembering, like
You liked
said.
it.
Yeah.
Well,
I
yeah.
thought it was really cool.
Was it like claymation type
Yeah,
Stop motion animation.
stop
Yeah.
motion. Yeah.
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 I don't know. I watched it recently and I go, oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Not what you remember.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was like me showing another movie to my wife. You ever see The Dark Crystal?
Oh, that kind of scared the crap out of me when I
That
was
was a scary
younger.
movie to you?
It was
Really?
weird, yeah. Just puppets.
Puppets. I knew that was
puppets.
coming.
Yeah.
Puppety.
I showed that recently to my wife and kids saying, oh, this is a great movie. I watched it when I was a kid. We watched it. And I'm like, God,
It's not as good.
It was horrible. Yeah, so I would put The Gate down as a really bad
Okay.
movie. Now, not back then,
Yeah.
but now.
Yeah. I thought I had some genuine chills and scares and was quite inventive.
Billy,
But I have to
you've
see,
been
I
a
have to
bad
see it
boy.
again.
Yeah.
What about you, Natalie?
All right, I'm going to go with Child's Play 2 and everything after that. Not a fan.
Ooh.
I guess my thing is that I'm not into, dolls and stuff that are possessed with, it's not believable. So it's just, I don't know. It's not entertaining to me. I mean, the first one I thought was, it was okay, but this, I wasn't into it. I'm just going to talk about number 2. Basically, I think it takes place
Keep it
about
clean now.
2
It's a family show.
about 2 years after the first movie. So like 2 years later, this toy company decides that they're going to recreate the Chucky doll and put it back out in the market. And in doing so, they bring back the spirit of Charles Lee Ray, the killer. And so he goes on his
It was
mission.
Brad Dourif, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
I
The
like
voice.
him.
Yeah.
So he goes on his, his trek, his murder spree to get back to Andy, the boy, and he finds him, and I believe he's in some kind of foster care, and he has a foster sister, and of course his foster parents, don't believe him. They don't believe a word he says. They're, you're
course
just
not.
some traumatized boy and everything. So, just not into it.
Yeah. So, pretty much you're saying it was number 2.
Yeah, do. Like the little stuffed poops they sell at Walmart now.
Yeah, I saw.
they sell stuff
Yeah, I saw
With
shit.
the emoji.
Shit in the middle of the
poop
aisle
drop,
at Walmart. Yeah.
Yeah.
They actually sell that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get one. Put it up whenever Paula talks to me.
This is what I think.
Ay, Dios mío.
How about you, Mike?
Okay, here we go. You know what? I'm going to do these in a different order than I writ them down.
Read them?
Yeah.
Dude it.
Okay. 1958. I should say everything right there. 1958. Curse of the Faceless Man.
I'm sorry. I laugh because these are all the things he makes me watch
I know.
before bed
She's
in
had to-
15-minute increments.
She's had to watch this thing like 80 times. Oh, I don't even know where to start.
I do notice one thing. Everything that Mike watches, curse of, is always there.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of
pretty much.
curses.
Yeah.
Yeah. That usually means good movie.
Does it?
Yes. Now, yeah, and I want to be clear. I love this movie, but it's a terrible movie. That's why it's on my list. So even though I'm saying this movie is horrible, I'm saying rush out and buy this movie.
And then curse Mike.
Yes.
Yeah, well, you can
There
do
you
that
go.
too.
Yeah.
You can do that too. It doesn't matter to me. This movie has got, first of all, the star, Richard Anderson. He was Oscar Goldman on $6 Million Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Richard Anderson. And it takes place in what was once Pompeii. It's Naples. And there's an archaeological dig. And they're digging up what was left of Pompeii. And they find what looks like a mummy. It's just this guy who's encased in, like ash and solidified lava and stuff like that. And of course, the thing is actually alive and comes back and does things and scares people. And they go, And, but the star is Richard Anderson, and he looks like he would rather be anywhere than on that movie set. And it's funny because the way the script is written, he's completely skeptical of everything. So the scientists are like, well, we think that perhaps this being is still alive beneath the outer shell. And he's like, oh, come on. You know that's impossible. There's no way. This is a bunch of bullshit. And he's rolling his eyes, and
He really didn't want to be there.
He does not look like he wants to be there. Either that was great acting, because that's what the character was supposed to be portraying, or he just really didn't want to be there. And he was like, man, this is a shit movie, but, I'm getting a paycheck. So one of my favorite characters in this movie is a guy named Felix Lochet. And he plays Dr. Emmanuel. He's like the really, really old dude. Do you remember that guy with a great freaking head of hair? Yeah. I love that guy. He's incredible. Great accent. There was narration. Okay, this is how good this movie is. It's narrated, right? So while you're seeing things, you have a voiceover saying, then Paul Malone turned to his girlfriend and said, we need to go, you're seeing it, so you really don't need to, you know what I mean? Great stuff. But the voiceover was done by a guy named Morris Ankrum, who was an actor. He was in The Beginning of the End, the great movie about the giant grasshoppers attacking Chicago.
Yeah.
He was in Earth versus the Flying Saucers. And he was in another movie that I'm not going to say what it is because it's the third one on my list, or the second one on my list. Great movie. You know what was really cool about it? That dude in that suit, his face was completely covered. There was no eye holes or anything like that. You could not see any features on his face.
Right.
That guy didn't know where the hell he was going on the set.
And it was obvious.
Yeah. So he was just kind of stumbling around like, okay, move to your right and then just start walking. He's tripping over shit. There's like two scenes where he busts down the door. He's standing in front of the door. And he hits it with both hands and the door shatters, and then he walks through it and he stumbles, almost falls into the hallway. And speaking of mess ups, there's a great one with Richard Anderson. There's like this serious scene. They're in a museum office, and there's like bric-a-brac all over, a globe and a model ship and this and that. And they're talking very seriously about what's going on. And Richard Anderson turns and he bumps his ship model behind him with his elbow. And then he like kind of grabs it so it doesn't fall over. And then just goes right back to the scene, and they're just like, go with it.
Just go with it. Yeah.
They left it in the movie. It's like that just shows he's not even paying attention. He's like, oh, I just almost knocked that model ship over. What the hell? Yeah. So there you go. Curse of the Faceless Man. Terrible movie. Go see it.
Curse of the Faceless Man.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
You're next.
I'm next.
Yeah.
I got one here, and I didn't even make the whole movie. Ghost Ship, filmed in 2002.
You couldn't watch the whole
I couldn't
thing?
watch the whole movie. It was that bad. I just could not watch it.
I did see that.
Only
Yeah.
cool part was the beginning.
Yeah, the opening scene where they show
The cable
goes
through
people
everybody.
getting chopped in half.
That was the only good part of the whole movie. Synopsis: After discovering a passenger ship missing since 1962, floating adrift on the Bering Sea, salvagers claim the vessel as their own. Once they begin towing the ghost ship towards harbor, a series of bizarre occurrences happen, and the group becomes trapped inside the ship, which they soon learn is inhabited by a demonic creature. I made it to the point where one of the characters was following a beautiful ghost woman, and she made him get onto an elevator. He thought he was getting onto an elevator, and in fact, the elevator was not there, and he fell to his death. And I said, this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. I'm sorry.
This was on a ship?
This was on a ship. It was a ghost ship.
So if he fell down an elevator shaft, how many levels did this ship have? Like 30?
It was a cruise. It was one of those cruise liners.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
you know, I couldn't make it. I just
It could have been a dimensional thing. You know, he could have been falling to another dimension. So
no, because
nothing
then
is real.
then the elevator turned on, and it brought him up, and his mangled body was on top of the elevator.
Oh.
Yeah,
Doesn't sound very logical.
it was ridiculous.
Was
I don't-
anybody in it that has a quote-unquote name?
name? Well, Julianne Margulis,
Oh.
Oh.
Gabrielle Byrne.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Gabriel Byrne. Yeah. Well, thanks for letting me know. I'll skip that one,
Oh,
too.
Carl Urban was in it.
The hell?
Yeah. It just was a really bad movie, and you know, I could sit through most anything. I mean, I sat through the pirate movie. I cannot watch this movie.
They must have just did that movie for the paycheck, just like Richard Anderson in Curse of the Faceless Man.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't go see it.
Okay.
What about you, Natalie?
I'm going to get right to it. Leprechaun.
Uh-oh.
And all the 6 that came after it. There's 7 of them.
Wow.
I can't. Leprechaun came out in 1993, directed by Mark Jones. Basically, you have a leprechaun who is in search of his pot of gold and will kill anyone that gets in his way. And this is where Jennifer Aniston made her film debut.
Was it? Which one was it? Was
It's
it
the first one.
The first one?
I thought it was one that was later, but that's it.
Oh, you
Because
know
I
what?
looked it up.
You know,
So,
I was thinking that movie Troll because I kept saying, "Oh, wasn't that with Sonny Bono?"
oh, I forget who was all in it,
Troll.
but Troll was great. Yeah, that's one where it's another one that you might think it's so bad it's good. Troll 2, that should be on this list, but no. Anyhow,
So
but yeah,
Leprechaun.
Leprechaun, I just can't. I can't.
I never saw a single one of those movies.
Don't. It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's silly. It's just silly.
Ghoulies. That was another one that was kind of
Yeah.
the same thing. Really bad. There was a lot of stuff that came out in the 80s that was just terrible. But you know what? Movies were booming because of the home video market. It was like, man, if you can hold a camera, you've got a hit. If you can get someone to paint a really convincing cover for the VHS box, you got a hit.
What was the movie where you had a bunch of little monsters like gremlins, and they
Critters?
was that it? And the guy took his looks from a rocker.
Yeah, they're from outer space.
Yeah.
Yeah, El Rey just
they're
showed
like-
those a couple
yeah,
weeks ago.
They
or a
had
month or two
creature
ago.
features.
See, I like that
Yeah.
one. I like that.
They have
movie.
little porcupines. They have the spikes and stuff.
Yeah.
They roll in little balls
Yeah,
like
yeah.
tumbleweeds. So it's great.
Okay,
Good
and that was
stuff.
Critters.
Critters, yeah.
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 So no Leprechaun, huh?
No Leprechaun. Don't do it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I never had any intentions of doing it. So
Troll, yes. Leprechaun.
Yeah, he hasn't seen Troll. I ask him that all the time. Like, we have to see that. You
Troll,
have to
you'll
see
love it.
Yeah.
You'll
Really?
love it.
It's
Yeah.
good fun. All right, what's number 2?
Oh, my number 2?
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, you said that the second Chucky movie, and you know what? So far, both of your movies, Natalie, have both featured tiny little characters,
What's going on?
right?
Natalie?
Chucky is a doll.
Yeah.
He's little. Mm-hmm. Your
Are
second
you trying
movie,
to say something against little people? What are you aiming at here for?
No,
Okay,
Masquerita
editing. Let's
Sagrada is
go.
going to come after you.
No, he's not. I like him. No, it's just absolute silliness.
My number 2 movie, 1957. That should say everything again, right there.
Curse of...
No, there's no curse. The Giant Claw. There's probably people out there. Oh, Natalie's shaking her head already because she knows. The Giant Claw. This was one of those giant monster sci-fi movies. Sounds like a great premise. You know, there's this giant bird-like creature that's like flying supersonic speed, and it's doing loops around the Earth, and no one knows where it came from, and yeah, they're gonna battle it with jets and things, and it's gonna be great. It's not. No, that's not what happened in the movie. You know, anytime a movie begins with a somber announcer giving a science lesson, you know it's gonna be a great movie.
Once the world was big, and no man in his lifetime could circle it. Through the centuries, science has made man's lifetime bigger and the world smaller. Now the farthest corner of the earth is as close as a push button.
You know, like the mole people, that dude, and the Earth, and you go down and down, and this movie started with that. I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be awesome. It wasn't awesome. It was really bad. It starred a guy named Jeff Morrow, who was in Creature Walks Among Us. Really cool movie. He was in Octoman. You know who he was? He was Exeter in This Island Earth. You know the dude with the big giant head? The movie with the Metaluna mutant? Remember?
Yeah.
He was that guy who had the freaking huge ass head, and everyone just kind of ignored it. Like, well, he looks okay to me. Doesn't look like an alien at all. Yeah, Jeff Morrow was in it. Mara Corday was in it also. She was in Black Scorpion and Tarantula. She was like a very popular like B movie actress back in the day. I mentioned Morris Ankrum, who did the voiceover of Curse of the Faceless Man. There's a giant monster bird that's flying around, and the Air Force is trying to track it down because it's up in Canada, and it's landing and it's eating people, and then it takes off again. And Jeff Morrow and Mara Corday, they go to Canada and talk to a guy who had seen this thing. The guy's name is Pierre, and he's telling him it's La Cacagna, which is this like Canadian myth of like, you know, giant death bird. They don't believe him, and they sit around his shack and they drink Applejack. I don't know if you remember this, the Applejack drinking scene. It's like apparently some like moonshine or something like that.
It's good Applejack. I make 'em myself. Fine for the snake bite.
They're like, oh, have some of Pierre's Applejack. Okay, fine, we'll drink some Applejack. And then the acting is horrible. It seems like it was written maybe to appeal to a 5th grade level. Actually, it seems like it was written by 5th graders.
Yeah.
Really bad, terrible dialogue. At one point, this guy Pierre, Jeff Morrow starts calling him Peppy. And then he goes back to calling him Pierre. I don't know what the hell. They were just like, go with it.
Yeah.
Call him whatever you want. Oh, boy. You know what? Here's the cool trivia for this movie. There's a guy in this movie, a scientist. His name is Dr. Carol Neumann. I'm like, Dr. Carol Neumann? Where the hell have I heard that before? There was another movie I talked about on our podcast called Invisible Invaders. The one with John Carradine at the beginning, and they're like, science sometimes goes too far. Look at Dr. Carol Neumann. And then there's an explosion. John Carradine's dead in like the first minute of the movie. Same name. Actually, it turns out that this movie and that movie were written by the same guy.
Oh.
He's like, F it, I'm just putting the same name in. Very cool. Ray Harryhausen was supposed to animate the big giant turkey monster, and it was terrible. It was a marionette. They actually couldn't pay Harryhausen, so they said, well, we're just going to go and get some cheap effects company in Mexico to do it. And so they came up with this obvious marionette. It's got this big long neck and this giant nose. It looks like Jimmy Durante, and you see the wires and stuff.
I've seen clips of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's absolutely horrible. And they were like, we don't even care. There's Jeff Morrow and Mara Corday are in a plane, and they're flying this big giant Air Force like bomber plane. And the creature attacks the plane, and it makes it crash. Well, they're like, oh no, we're going to crash. And it's going at like a, I don't know, 30-degree angle. And there's smoke coming out. And then they cut to something else, and they're inside going, ah! And then they cut back to the plane. It's going straight down. with flames of smoke coming out, straight vertically down. I'm like, they're dead. And then they show them inside going, ah! And then they show another shot, and they're going down at like 30 degrees again. I'm like, they just didn't care.
There's no consistency.
None.
Yeah.
It's incredible. Incredible movie. You've got to see it if you haven't seen it. Or you know what? It's on YouTube. Look it up on YouTube, and you'll say, Mike Wolfer, I love you.
Look it up.
Look it up.
My last one is actually a movie you should watch.
Okay.
I consider it a bad movie, but you should watch it anyway. Maximum Overdrive.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. Yeah.
Emilio Estevez.
Mm-hmm.
I like him.
Mm-hmm.
This movie was one of the most silliest movies I've ever seen in my life. The worst part about it, it was written by Stephen King.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the book is a lot better. Well, it's not even a book. It's actually a part of a bunch of stories.
Mm-hmm.
And this one particular excerpt is really good. The movie, wow.
You know, sometimes things sound really good on paper, but then when you visualize it, you see the flaw. And I think that's what happened with that. It sounds like, yeah, and the trucks are scary and there's things and machines are doing things, but then when you see them doing it, it's like, this doesn't look right. It's kind of like Killdozer, you know, when they're running away from that thing. It's like, well, just get on it. You'll be safe. Just, you know?
I mean,
Yeah.
I remember a part of the movie where they're running through a parking lot and there are people that were apparently choked by their car windows.
Yeah, yeah.
Why would you be sticking your head out of a car?
Yeah.
It just, and then the one kid who got run over by a street. What are those big things that squash down the asphalt and makes it smooth?
Asphalt squasher.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
It runs him over. It runs this kid over, and he's like, ah! And then you see him getting run over, and ah!
Mm-hmm.
Then
Was he then like flattened
They
on the
didn't
street
show- all
like
they
a piece of paper?
All they
like,
showed was blood on the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It just was stupid. And then the soda machine started going rogue and started hitting people with sodas.
I know, the horror. Oh.
They tried to make it really scary by putting the Green Goblin, on one of the tractor trailers. First off, who the hell would drive with a huge Green Goblin face?
That
on
guy.
it? Just
Yeah.
that guy.
I was looking forward to it because of the AC/DC soundtrack.
the AC/DC
You know, I thought,
soundtrack.
oh, this is going to be great.
Yeah,
That was
that was the only thing that was good about the whole movie. But you got to go see it just to experience how bad it really was.
Well, what about you, Natalie? What do you got?
All right, my last and final one. Jack Frost. No, not the cute, heartwarming Jack Frost with what's his face? I don't know. No, this is not a
Michael
family
Keaton?
movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
This one came out in '96, directed by Michael Cooney. It's about a serial killer who's being driven to his execution when there's this freak accident, and he's transformed into a snowman, and then he goes on a killing rampage.
Oh.
I'm just going to stop there. It's terrible. It's just awful. It's beyond silly, and he's
You
like
know-
this dirty-mouthed, person, and he does dirty things, and it's ridiculous.
I asked you a little bit about this, and you told me a little bit more. Mm-hmm. He ends up in like a tropical setting or something like that.
That might be part 2. I have no idea. I can't remember. There's one where he is
Yeah.
in some kind of beach setting, and I don't know.
Yeah, that's funny or scary. I don't know.
It's neither. It's just stupid.
How did you get there?
I don't
Did you
remember.
travel in a refrigerator?
I don't know.
He's a
Part
snowman.
2. I mean, I know I have seen part 2. I won't even mention. I don't remember much about it, but yeah. What's yours?
Number 3 or number 1. My number 3 is The Brainiac. You've seen this a couple times, right, Natalie?
Oh yes.
Against your will. El Baron del Terror was the original name of it. It was a Mexican movie. It came out in 1962. They retitled it The Brainiac, dubbed it, and it's a magnificent piece of crap. The basic premise is there's this guy back in 1661, Baron Vitellius, and he's he's accused of being a warlock and all this stuff, and there's kind of like a Spanish Inquisition sort of tribunal they have him in chains, and they're reading off all of the horrible things that he's done and the sentence that he's going to get. And that scene goes on for like 10 minutes. And you did this, and then you did that. And they cut to him, and he's going, I did that. I'm like, what? When is this movie going to move on? So luckily it does. It jumps to 1961, 300 years later. And they're like in swinging 1960s Mexico City. It's awesome. And of course, the guy was put to death, and then he comes back 300 years later to get his revenge on all of the descendants of the guys who condemned him. So he does this by changing into this monster. I can't even describe what the hell this thing is. He's got this huge head with this tongue that comes out like a long lizard tongue that's like a forked tongue, and it kind of flops around on the backs of people's necks and supposedly sucks their brains out. It's so paper mache, the mask. And when he breathes, the actor in the mask must have been suffocating and taking deep breaths. And when he's breathing, you can see the mask kind of sucking in and then popping back out, sucking in. So they're like, keep it, looks great. So that's part of this monster's look. Why he changes into this thing, I don't know. You know, I mean, he's reincarnated. He comes back as a dude. He should just kill people.
This doesn't make any sense. Why, it's completely absurd.
But for some reason, he changes into a monster, and there's something to do with a comet, and it's just outright craziness. Oh, one other ability that this Baron Vitellius has. He can hypnotize people, and the way they show him actually hypnotizing is they kind of like just shine a light in his face and then flash it on and off. That's going to symbolize like his eyes are glowing or something, like he's, you know, he's hypnotizing, and it's just a guy off camera with a flashlight just flashing it on and off on his eyes. It's so low budget and wonderful. You've got to look up the Brainiac. You got to find it. You got to watch it.
Well, it shows you how ingenious they really were. I mean, they came up with an idea and
they were doing the best they could.
Yeah.
You know what killed me about that movie? Those weird candle holders that I pointed out to you.
I thought you were going to totally skip over that.
No, I got to mention the candle holders. There's this one set where it's the ballroom of the castle, and there's a grand entryway, and there's these giant, like 7 foot tall, huge. They look like giant candle holders on each side of or candelabra. I don't know what you call that thing. These giant pillars, and on the top of each pillar is like one single little 3-inch tall round candle. Like, what the hell is that thing? I was like fascinated by that. I'm like, forget the movie. What's going on with those candle things? You got to see it. It's baffling.
Could it be that the whole thing's a hallucination? A hallucination? No, Ronnie, no.
Every turn in that movie, there's something that will make you say, what the hell's going on? Most of it, they didn't even film on location. They just did like green screen stuff. You know, so they're like, hey, now we're doing our dialogue in front of a picture of a church. Now we're doing our dialogue in front of a picture of what do you call the big building where they have the telescope that looks at the stars?
The Hubble
Observatory. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy stuff. Gotta see it.
Well, what about the fact that every time before he goes to kill someone, he turns around to eat a little brain or something? Like he's eating something. What is that?
Yeah. He he eats brains, and so he's got this little goblet of brains with a little dainty little fork sitting in it, and he keeps it in this chest in the middle of the room. And they had this big banquet thing where he invited all of these people from the whole village, and they're sitting around talking, going, oh, yes, Baron, you're an incredible person. This is an incredible party. And he'd say, excuse me 1 minute. And he'd walk over to the thing, open the lid, take out his thing of brains, take a few bites of the brain, put it back in it. Nobody says anything.
Nobody's wondering what he's doing over there.
They were all busy looking at the damn candlesticks. Crazy. Great movie.
What about nothing?
That was the best part of the movie, and I almost left it out. The dude at the observatory, that big building where they have the telescope that looks at the stars, like the older scientist. He's going through a pile of papers, and the man and the woman, who I don't know what her name was, but I call her Vicky Babump. Her name was Vicky, and I think the only reason they had her in the movie was the babump. You know what the babump is? Tight dress, and then the babump, because she's constantly walking around going, I'm going to walk from this side of the room to that side of the room, and the camera's going to follow me. And then she does the pose. Instead of standing normally, she does that runway Miss Universe pose where you kind of put one foot in front of the other one and hands on hip. I'm like, come on, relax. It's cool. We're doing science. But anyhow, this guy...
Well, back then, women didn't do science, so, there you go.
No,
She's just there.
Yeah.
Make coffee
window
and shit
dressing.
and sandwiches for everyone, so there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. But the guy, the old dude, he's at the table, he's going through the paperwork, and it was like reports that came back about the comet or something like that. And he's going through his papers. He reads it. Nothing. Goes to the next one. Reads it. Nothing. Goes to the next one. Nothing.
You know what's really funny?
It goes on for like 5 minutes. It's great.
On that paper they kept turning,
Yeah.
that's what it said. Nothing.
It probably did. That was
Probably,
that was
yeah.
a script. Oh man, great movie. Great movie. Don't go see it as
Don't
soon
do
as you
it.
can. Yep. So we're breaking down.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I did.
Yeah.
Love terrible
It's
movies.
the worst ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But we're back. Haunt Squad's back.
yeehaw.
I hope you guys missed us because we missed you guys, and we're going to be dishing out a whole bunch more absolute crap.
So don't listen.
Yes. Thank you very little.
Stay spooky.
Professor?
Thank you. Nothing. Hold on. Nothing. 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 Nothing.